Welcome everybody back to the TasteBuds podcast. As always, it's Drew, aka Big Red Belly.
Ben, aka Sauce.
And Kenneth, also known as Infinite K.
We got a great episode coming at you guys today. We're going to be going over our final mock draft. As when this video goes up, I think it'll be 2 days until the NFL draft. Is that right, guys?
It's on Thursday, right?
Yeah. So this will be up on Tuesday. We're recording Monday night.
Yep.
During the
Should
Knicks
be.
Pistons games. And then we also are going to be going over a little bit of NBA reactions as the first game of the first round for every series has been played. We're just starting the second game, and yeah, it's going to be a fun little day. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
I'm doing good. Monday's always my heavy day because I work at like around 8 a.m. until 3, and I go straight home, eat, and then go straight to class from like 4 to 6. So I have school 8 to 3, class 4 to 6, and then right after I get out, I go to the gym. And so it's always a relief to get that over with. And then I get a little treat by going on the pod with you guys. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, tonight's gonna be fun. It's gonna be light, but I love doing mock drafts. And like we did about a month ago, we're going through picks 1 through 15, but this time we're gonna be a GM of like 5 different teams. So Andrew's the GM of the Titans, Kenneth's the Browns, I'm the Giants, etc. But
We're going to alternate.
that's gonna
1, 2,
come
3,
up in
1,
a
2,
little
3, 1,
bit.
2, 3.
Yeah, Kenneth, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I got off of work about an hour and a half ago. Was able to chill all day, and can't wait to play golf the next day.
You
Yeah,
got a
we've been
new
on the golf
60
run.
degree, right?
Yeah, I did get a new 60 degree. It's nice. It feels nice. I swung it in my backyard with some balls. I'm working on that short game. I'm actually going to Pittsburgh. I'm doing a meet and greet for 4 days. I'll be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Thursday, going up there Thursday, coming back Monday, and I'll do a meet and greet up there. I'll be at the spring Penn State football game, spring game for that. So I'll see all y'all fans there, and yep, I'm ready to get this pod going.
Great. Let's before we jump into the NFL, let's go over this slate of the game 1 NBA. We're going to start with Pacers Bucks. Ben, as the resident Bucks fan, how do you feel about this game 1?
Well, I was working Saturday morning, so I didn't get to watch any of it except for what Kenneth had when Christy decided to leave early without doing her job. Side
Take
note,
Christy to the town square. Yep.
Christy is allegedly is going to be talked to by Jordan because I told Natalie about it, and Natalie clutched up and told Jordan, and
Big
so
vote.
Anyways, so I wasn't able to watch the game, but obviously I saw the results and how the game turned out. And Giannis and AJ Green were great, and then that's about it. Kyle Kuzma dropped a Tony Snell with
I
0.
thought
My
Kyle
God.
Kuzma had the
He was
best
so
game of
bad.
all time. He actually broke all the
He was
records.
so bad.
Yeah, he was actually really good though.
But at least he was as good as Damian Lillard.
Actually, Damian Lillard had a tech.
Well, I mean, would you rather have a tech or 2 personal fouls? I don't know. And would you also rather shoot 0 for 5? Anyways, Kuzma was awful. Torian Prince was awful. Brooke Lopez was unplayable. And
You can't play him.
it was about as bad as you can get. But the only optimism is that Damian Lillard will be back, but that's not going to help our defense at all. When we went on this 8-0 stretch, our offense was carrying us. Our defense was still subpar. It's just we were outscoring teams. And with Dame coming back, that's going to help our offense, but it's not going to help our defense. This is going to be a tough series, but it's far from over. And I still have hope for us. Bucks in 6. Andrew, how do you feel
Okay.
about that? As the Pacers
Let me talk
Glazer.
about the positive for the Bucks. The Pacers cannot guard Giannis. There's no
Yep.
chance. They have no. There's not an answer for him. I mean, over the last, I think it's like 7 games against the Pacers, he's averaging like 36, 10, and like 10 or something. It's like ridiculous. Like they can't guard him or something. It's not a question. Other than that, Brook Lopez unplayable. He's borderline unplayable. Brook Lopez usually plays drop coverage, which is literally Halliburton's favorite thing to dissect. Halliburton's shot wasn't going in this game, so he didn't have the graciest like box score numbers. But when he was on the court, he was making every play. He was making the connected passes. Like the offense was so much better with him. The box score won't show how good he is. And Miles Turner, his shot making is so important. Siakam, like I think the Bucks need to go to a bench lineup of AJ Green, KCP, unless Dame is back, Brook Lopez. Bobby Portis, and then maybe Kuz. They need to switch everything lineup. I think Kuz will be better than this. This was an all-time awful game by Kuz. 0 point, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 0 turnovers. There's a positive.
Yep.
But yeah, I think when they went on their run in this game, it was with AJ Green on the floor. Like Gary Trent, that's who I wanted. And not get out Kuz, put Gary Trent in at the small forward. Out of the, I think, 9 threes that the Bucks made as a team, AJ Green and Gary Trent made 8 of them. That I know that's true. It's either 8 or 9 threes that they made, and then AJ Green and Gary Trent made all of them except for one. You need the shooting on the floor. The defense already isn't good with anybody else on the floor. Giannis play 5. I mean, you have to try to stop him in transition. It's a tough matchup. And like again, I even said Halliburton's shot wasn't falling. If it does, which it has for most of the year, it's even worse. Andrew Nembhard was great in this game. His passing, shooting, and just ability to create off ball is killer. Again, Siakam was so good. Turner was so good. TJ McConnell, his minutes were just so nasty. Like again, Andrew Nembhard, and Halliburton all when Brook Lopez was playing drop, they all ate it up. You can't play drop against this team. It just isn't possible. That's all I got to say. That was my impression of the first game. I think I had in my prediction Pacers in 5, and then if Dame is there, Pacers in 6. You can't will a team to win with just one player anymore. It's not different. It's a different type of NBA. Yeah.
Yep. Do you think Andrew Nembhard is going to continue to be a playoff riser?
I think he's going to be good. I don't think he's going to be this good, but I think he'll be around 15 points a game. He just has so much skill. He just also the steals that they were getting. I mean, again, when they you sent the stat, but when Brook Lopez was playing drop and pick and roll on defense, I think they were averaging almost 1.5 points a game. And when they were playing pick and roll against or pick and pop against anybody else, it was like 0.7 points per possession.
Yeah.
It's Brook Lopez is unplayable because 0.7 is actually pretty good. Like that's good defense. But I think it was over 1.5. That's awful. That is awful per possession on a pick and pop, pick and roll. Is that enough Bucks Pacers talk? Do you want to say anything else, Ben?
No.
Okay. Let's bounce it around the other games. Let's stay in the East. Cavs Heat. Kenneth, do you want to say anything about your team?
No.
I'll go quickly. The Heat's defensive infrastructure is actually nasty. Like they can really impose themselves on the defensive end. It's just the offense isn't good enough. Tyler Hero had a good, not great game, and it's insane that Ty Jerome is coming off the bench for the Cavs. This is the first time in NBA history where 3 guards had over 27 points in a playoff game. Never happened in NBA history. Ty Jerome, I think, had 31. Donovan Mitchell had 30. and Darius Garland at 27. Mobley didn't have the greatest game. Bam Adebayo was cooking him, but Jared Allen played great, especially on the offensive end. And the Cavs haven't really even cut down on their lineup. They're still playing I think they played 11 guys in their actual rotation. They still played a bunch of people, and I think that'll cut down to 8, which is going to make them even better. That's all I got on the Cavs. Let's keep rolling to Pistons Knicks, which I'm watching right now. First game, obviously the Cade didn't get going, and Brunson, while he wasn't going in the first half, he really got going in the second half. And it seems like nobody. Oh, sorry.
That 21-0 run killed the Pistons.
Oh yeah, it was insane. You saw the Pistons' inexperience in the playoffs, especially Cade. OG Anunoby on Cade Cunningham in that first game was absolutely killing them. Cade could not get going against him. And when it comes down to these series, you see who can create better advantages. The Knicks can guard Cade better than the Pistons can guard Brunson. And it seems like nobody on the floor can guard Cat. Cat had an amazing game. A lot of the time they're having Tobias Harris on him, which was not working. Obviously, we are in the second game right now, and it's pretty close. The Pistons are winning, but
Tobias Harris legacy game.
Tobias Harris did have 22 in the first half, and then he didn't do really much else. Yeah. Again, when you put him in a smaller role, and he actually is hitting his catch and shoot threes, which he wasn't doing last year, he can be a good player. He's actually imposing himself physically, driving as well, which I always wanted to do more. I don't have hate in my heart for Tobias Harris. He's in a tough position. I usually don't hate any player unless it's Al Horford. Fuck that guy. I hate that guy so much. Well, I don't actually hate him. I hate his wife. I hate that he sucked with us. But it's just kind of the Sixers way. If you come here, you suck, and then you play good somewhere else. It's kind of our thing.
I
That's
watched
okay, though.
I watched Kenny's video, and he said that the vets for the Pistons locked in, and the young bucks did not do good.
Yeah, I mean, still the Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway are so important. But right now, the Pistons' defensive effort and their physicality, they're up by, I think, what is it? They're now up by 13 on the Knicks with 6 minutes left. If you guys want to if you want to match up what we're watching, please. Are we really watching our own game right now? Our own video? I heard Ben. Actually, if you guys haven't seen, Ben just put out an amazing video going over who the Falcons should draft. Go check that out. That's what you just heard in the background. But
it only has
during
one
this game,
view, so one of y'all haven't seen it yet.
It was me.
I haven't seen it. I'm sorry.
I seen it.
But yeah, the Pistons' defensive effort has insanely jumped up this game. And again, they're up by 13 with 5:40 left in the third quarter. We'll see what happens, but that was a good game. I think the Knicks will still take this. I mean, I think it might go the distance just because of the Pistons had a bad first game, and they can re-lock in. You guys want to say anything else on this series? You want to keep rolling?
Keep rolling.
Yep.
Are we missing any East matchups?
Nope. Got the Cavs. Got Boston.
Celtics
got
the Magic and Celtics.
Yeah, let's go through it quick. Browns. The Jays did not play good, and Paolo played an amazing game, and so did Franz. That seems like the only type of game. Oh, so Kristaps also played awful. This seems like the only type of game where Magic could have won, where Paolo went off, Franz had a great game, and the Jays and Porzingis sucked. But it just happens that Peyton Pritchard and Derek White are also on this team. They both dropped 30. And the pieces around Paolo the offensive pieces are just absolutely shit. Paolo and Franz are the only important pieces to look at in this series. And as for Tatum, Brown, and Porzingis, Tatum's jump shooting is failing him again. Brown's jump shooting has been failing him all year. At least Tatum is still going to be the best defender, the best playmaker, best ball handler on the floor. When Brown's jump shooting isn't falling, he's just a good on-ball defender, and that's it, and nothing else, because he's just not that good of a player. I'm just talking shit. But yeah, Celtics in 4. If this was the only game the Magic could have taken, and they didn't take it. That's the East. Time for the West.
Let's talk about the 51-point difference between the Thunder and the Grizzlies. That's how
Yeah, I mean,
we started off our Sunday morning.
I have OKC winning the whole thing just because they're so much better than every other team. They're so much more versatile. And again, this is on top of an underwhelming Shea game. They actually went on this huge run with Chet and Shea on the bench. Those are their two best players. Put that in perspective. That's how good they are. Kisson Wallace killing them. J-Dub with his athleticism, his strength, he got bumped one time by Triple J around probably 5 feet out of the basket. And just because he had so much length, while he was being bumped, he was still able to jump and block a shot. I think he has like a 7'3" wingspan. He's such a good defender. 1 through 5, J-Dub is so nasty. And again, they have just so much talent that goes so deep in the roster. And again, Shea didn't even have a great Shea game, and I fully expect him to. They're gonna roll through the West. Yeah, I have I'm pretty confident in that. I think the people that can give them the most trouble are
Minnesota.
the Lakers. No, yeah, Minnesota. Obviously, we'll get to them next.
Minnesota.
But yeah, I don't know who's giving them trouble. I really don't. They're just they have so many lineups to go. Again, they go small. They can go big. They can go double big. They can go 5 out. They can have a true center. They can go full wing stoppage. They can just go all guards. They can go full shooting. They can do anything. They're so malleable, and that's why they won by 50. And the Grizzlies are on an even more downward spiral. It's so sad.
Yep.
I would hate being a Grizzlies fan. And I think if we're asking a question, what did the Grizzlies need to change in the offseason quickly? If you guys had an answer.
I don't know. They're not firing head coach half quarter of the way, 3/4 of the season through.
I think it's pretty simple. I think it comes down to the fact that their two best players aren't good enough to be a championship contender.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a sad fact.
They have a lot of
What's that,
great
Ben?
guys that they're not all going to be able to keep, like Santi Aldama. Yeah.
Scottie Pippen's probably going to get paid.
Yep. So
Gigi will
if they
be
could
on a
have
contract,
traded that to like upgrade their top end talent, then.
But I mean, in this series specifically as well, Ja's going to have a hell of a time. Shout out Paul Reed, just had a sick layup. Sorry, I'm not going to say Nance by the game, but I mean I got to talk when Paul Reed does something. But yeah, Ja's going to have one hell of a time to play. Bane is also going to have one hell of an offensive, OKC is going to kill him. And Jaren Jackson, you can literally throw 4 people on him. Even Jay Will was having his time defensively against Jaren Jackson. It's a sad truth, but yeah, their top end talent is not good enough to be a championship contender. Yep. Keep rolling.
Yep.
OKC sweeps the West and has their first challenge in the championship against the Celtics. That's what I'm thinking. That was we didn't say our predictions, did we?
We did. Last
Yeah.
week.
We did? Oh yeah, we didn't. Oops. Let's keep rolling.
Last week.
Okay. Let's talk about Lakers Timberwolves. I'm gonna talk about the Lakers first, and I'll get to the positive of the Timberwolves. The Lakers don't have a real center, so they're trying to cover that hole up by crashing whenever somebody drives, which is usually Anthony Edwards, and Anthony Ant was kicking out to an open shooter, and they shot like 55% on threes. That's really where this game comes down to. It also comes down to Austin Reeves having an awful offensive game and LeBron only having an okay game. Kind of like a prototypical game 1 LeBron. He does this all the time where he's just kind of feeling out in game 1. But Luke is going to get his. They're not going to be able to stop him from scoring. But yeah, it really seems like the lack of a defensive center and them trying to cover that up by crashing and then the Timberwolves hitting threes. They're just going to win every game if they do that. I do think that the shooting variance will kind of level itself out. But on top of that, Naz Reid and Jaden McDaniels had absolutely fantastic games. Whether it was Naz Reid's quick trigger from anywhere beyond the 3-point line or Jaden actually getting to the rim and hitting some nice touch shots in really establishing himself as an offensive threat.
Big win.
When what?
Just got
He's
MVP.
playing rivals. Oh my god.
I went 18-5
It's not even that good.
with 10 final hits.
That's
I had
solid.
most kills.
No way.
I
We're doing this.
most damage, double the second most final hits.
Heard. But yeah, again, if the Timberwolves shoot even 40, like mid 40s, they're not. They're going to win every game. The Lakers have decided that they're not going to let Ant pop off offensively scoring, but if he play makes well, and if Austin Reeves and LeBron can't super up their production, along with Rui and DFS hitting close to 40% on every or 50% on every catch and shoot three, which they really did not. They kind of fell apart. Then this series could get ugly. I do think it will level out, and we'll see. But this was a dominant Timberwolves win game one.
Yep.
Keep rolling.
Go Ant.
Keep going.
Clippers Nuggets, what a game one. Overtime game. Let's talk about the beginning of this game. The Nuggets can't guard James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, especially James Harden. He is a problem. Jamal cannot stick with him. He was getting to the rim at will. He was playmaking and shooting threes. It really was nasty until the second half hit, where the intensity of the Nuggets went up tenfold on the defensive end. It started making the Clippers have dumb turnovers. Aaron Gordon is the unsung hero of this game. I would give him the MVP other than Jokic on the Nuggets. He was so good in every facet, whether it's rebounding. Like, he had a sick dunk near the end of the game and a shot clock. Just a veteran play.
This is exactly what Kenny said. Pretty much.
Really?
He said Aaron
I haven't seen his
Gordon was
video.
him.
I didn't watch his video. Yeah, Aaron Gordon was fantastic this game. I do think it's interesting that it did feel like the Clippers kind of went away from what they were doing really good in the first half, and they got sloppy, started turning the ball over too much, and I think it's interesting who they're. I think both these teams both have an interesting like conundrum of who's going to be in the final lineup, because for this game, it was Russell Westbrook for the Nuggets instead of MPJ, and Russ made the most prototypical Russ game of all time, where he had some game-saving plays and some game-ending plays, and it all combined to at least a good Russ game, which was really cool to see. But as for the series as a whole, I actually feel okay about the Clippers. It seems like no one had like Jokic can't guard Zoo. They cannot guard Harden for shit. Kawhi can reach an even higher level, and on top of all that, uh, again, the Nuggets still played. Jokic's still the best player in the world, and then we'll see what they do with MPJ. MPJ needs to be better defensively and offensively for them to win the series for me. I think this one does go the distance. We'll see what the Clippers do next game, but I think this is a great first game, and we'll see if Russ is able to stay on the floor in the future. Yeah, want to say anything else?
I want to say what Kenny was saying about Russ, about the
Russ.
Denver MPJ benching MPJ. Matter of fact.
Oh, did he talk about this too?
Yeah, he talked about the ballsiness of the new head coach. 4 games
ballsy.
benching MPJ for Russ.
Yeah.
And then Russ just obviously his veteran-esque, his esque, like veteran, whatnot. And how
Presence,
and how he's like going for every single rebound and like fighting for everything. Because like I can say without a doubt that their rebounding was rough when I watched, and that's all. And I feel like they turned it up in the second half for sure. I had a feeling
absolutely did.
I had a feeling they were going to, because it's the playoffs and you got to figure out that adjustment early on, and I think they really did. Kind of glad.
Yeah, I mean, again, we'll see. I think their ceiling is extremely hindered with Russ because of the spacing issues and how they just don't guard him, especially during overtime. Luckily, he was able to hit a corner three, but he's not as well. He's not as good as finishing around the rim. He's not a good shooter, and if he's not hitting any shots, then it's just absolute unplayable on offense. Luckily, he made all the hustle plays, and he hit that corner three to really clutch it up and send it overtime. And then he also had the next play where he was giving a wide open shot, and then he dribbled, pump faked, and then just let the clock run out without even getting a shot off. Their ceiling is hindered by Russ. If they actually do want to make it all the way, I really do think they have to go back to MPJ. MPJ just needs to like level his play up back to what it was during the championship run, and those are my thoughts.
Yep.
Next game. What else do we got? We got one more game, right?
Warriors Rockets.
Warriors Rockets.
What a game!
Wow. I mean, first off, let's start with Steph. I mean, I've seen Steph. I've watched his insane games, but this was some of the craziest shot making you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah.
He's got MN Thompson throwing his hands up, saying, "What do I even do?"
Yeah.
Both of these teams are so good defensively that they're going to turn to rock fights, which it kind of did this game. The reason I have the Warriors winning this series is because they have Steph Curry
And Jimmy.
as that. And no, I mean, as that level up player.
Yeah.
Jimmy also had a great game. They were both these teams are so good defensively, but in different levels. Jimmy had some great. He couldn't finish around the rim very well, but he supplemented that with some amazing mid range jump shooting. Having that second option for Curry is so cool. Again, it doesn't harken back exactly to the KD Warriors, but he made some extremely clutch buckets, whether it was end of the shot clock, mid range, or just putting like a dagger in Houston's heart near the end of the game.
Yeah.
Houston did do what I thought they were going to do well. They're maybe the best rebounding team of all time. Again, they get over 50% of offensive rebounds. And you see that in this game where it's mind-boggling how good of a rebounding team they are. They just get so many more possessions. For every 2 shots they put up, one of them they're going to get an extra shot on. It doesn't make sense, and that still bled into this game. Alperen Sengun had actually an amazing game against Draymond Green. His touch was absolutely on fire. And I think we're really going to see who can be the second option other than Alp because they need another offensive option. Jalen Green sucked monkey ass. He was so bad. Fred VanVleet sucked monkey ass. He was so bad. And like I said, when it came down to this series, I said it was going to be need Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green both being offensively consistent. And we already saw it where I think Jalen Green had like 6 points on dog shit efficiency. Yeah, it was an awesome game. The energy's so high. We got. I'm worried we're gonna get Steph dud in 1 or 2 of these games just because of his old age.
How
and
good
he's had
Amen
some of
is.
those. Yeah, exactly. And again, I genuinely some of the most insane shot making I've ever seen, and I'm not trying to exaggerate. Please go watch the highlights. The shots that he was making, whether it was an inbound, almost half quarter, on the move, body turned one way, quickest release you'll ever see. It was insane.
That
Steph
should
level, and that's it.
That should geometrically never
Yeah,
gone in.
yeah. Please, I mean that that was such a good call out. What was it exactly?
I think that
Geometrically,
geometrically
that should not have
should
happened
not have happened.
by
Yeah.
Harlan. Yeah, Harlan is so sick.
Yeah.
Another great game, and that'll wrap it up. How much time are we at? Did I keep it? Did I keep it? Did I keep it fast?
It's about 30 minutes.
No. I'm sorry. I have so much to say.
Yeah,
And I was trying to go
respect
fast.
it.
I have so much to say. It's so fun. I mean, playoff basketball. I'm like a kid in a candy shop. It's just so fun. And then again, we have Detroit, New York going on right now. Third quarter just ended. Detroit is still up by 9. We'll see how that persists.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's jump into the NFL.
Yep.
Do we want to start with the draft, or do we have any other topics before we run up the draft?
Yeah, we do. I'll go. Firstly, here we go. The Falcons are asking teams to take $20 million of the $45 million of Kirk Cousins' contract in a trade. This is about what I suspected because I didn't expect any team to take on all $45 million of it. It also said that the Falcons are asking for a lot in return for Kirk Cousins, but it didn't say what a lot meant. Which
draft compensation, probably.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like a third-round pick or a second-round pick.
Yeah.
What do y'all think Kirk Cousins should go for if the team is also taking on $20 million?
A fourth or fifth.
A 5th-round pick.
Probably fourth. Let's be real. A fourth-round pick.
Heard. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be fine with that if like the Browns, for example, wanted to
We're not
give us a
trading for
fourth.
Kirk Cousins.
We'll see.
Okay,
but
bro.
don't you feel like a fourth-round pick is kind of like you're like okay, that'll be okay. You know what I mean? I feel like a fourth-round pick is now you're like okay. I mean we're done. Please get this guy off my team.
Yeah. So to go along with that, the Falcons signed a fourth quarterback today, in Eason Stick. He was part of the Raiders beating the Chargers like 63-14 or whatever, like 2 seasons ago. He's a quarterback.
He was on the Chargers.
Yep.
Back up for Jay Herbo.
Yep.
For a year.
And so now we have Emory Jones, Penix, Kirk Cousins, and Eason Stick. So it could be something, could mean nothing. With us signing a quarterback that might mean Kirk Cousins on the move or not. Who knows? And next, Travis Hunter came out and said that he is not stepping onto the field unless the team is going to let him play both sides of the ball. Is that a diva move or is it not? What do y'all think?
I think it was just him like kind of declaring to the world that he will be playing both sides.
Yeah.
I think that any team that was going to draft him, if they'd be stupid not to at least try him at both sides.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a diva move at all. I think it was just kind of like an announcement. But what do you guys think?
I think the same thing.
I can see it both ways.
It'd be stupid for them not to run him both sides of the ball.
It would
at least try to start.
It would be a diva move if he said he didn't want to play for a team.
Yeah, obviously, but this is not.
It's not like a diva move. He's just saying like I want to play both sides of the ball, and I will like produce on both sides no matter what. I don't want to play if you're just going to play me on one side. Yeah. And he's definitely going to have those games where he's going to play on one side more than the other, but he can definitely physically, he's shown in college that he's able to play on both sides for a full game.
Yes. Yeah, that's what he did.
Yeah, he'll take plays off, but like, you know, him being on the field is kind of like I'm not going to compare him to Jokic. But I mean,
no, Jokic can't play defense.
I mean, yeah, whenever Jokic is on the field, he produces for the team. Travis Hunter did the same.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, before the draft, our mock draft, Ashton Genty put out a player's tribute, which is how Kevin Durant announced he's going to the Warriors. It was like my next chapter, the picture of him crossing his arms. Anyways, he said in a long-winded thing, I'll just read the final stuff. I've taken the long way. I'm done with that. If you pick me, it's simple. I'm coming to your franchise to do what Saquon and the Eagles just did. I'm coming to win. Big. Soon. It's tackle football. You know what I'm saying? I draft the guy that can't tackle. Thank you for your time, Ashton Genty.
Dude, that fires me up.
That's tough, yeah.
That is awesome. I fucking love that. On that note, do we want to talk about Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Sure. No. Aaron Rodgers said he has more important things going on in his life right now besides football. I actually watched the Pat McAfee show with it. I watched the whole thing. Yeah.
Why?
But
He's a
it
big Aaron
sounds like
Rodgers
he's
guy.
going to sign at some point. But I hope he retires because that means Steelers may pivot to Kirk Cousins. Woohoo! Because they don't have many other options.
I think it's so funny because he obviously doesn't want to play with the Steelers, but no one else is going to take him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of in this bind.
All right. Let's get into our mock draft. Picks 1 through 15. Andrew has the first overall pick, and then it's going to go Andrew, Kenneth, Ben, Andrew, Kenneth, Ben, Andrew, Kenneth, Ben.
Yep.
So, Andrew, let's start us off.
Ba-dun,
I'm
ba-dun,
easiest. This is the
dun,
easiest pick in the
dun.
whole draft. I think it's Cam Ward. I don't have much to say on this. I mean, it's Cam Ward.
I think that that's it.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about Cam Ward.
Yeah.
What I think about him. I don't need to talk anymore.
I think this draft pick with the Browns at number 2 is the hardest pick, it's hard to choose between the pairing of Myles Garrett and Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter, being able to play on both sides, pair him up with Denzel Ward, pair him up with Jerry Jeudy.
You're the GM. You pick.
I am the GM. I'm going to stick with Travis Hunter. I'd rather have a skill position. We could, and theoretically, if we don't get Travis, I would love Abdul Carter. I think both players would be amazing in this league. Both players will be S tier by the end of year 1. He'll make a team go from 0 to average. Both players will. Kind of like Jaden Daniels, but Jaden Daniels is more important than a wide receiver corner.
You're making the right decision, Kenneth.
Yeah.
You're drafting 2 players in 1.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You're drafting 2 players with 1 pick. I think that's all the thought process that you need to draft this guy.
Yeah. I'm drafting the best player in this draft class.
That's what I think. Well,
Yeah.
maybe Ashton, but yeah, it's so close. But yeah, I would.
Travis
say
Hunter won the Heisman, so he's the best player, realistically.
no, but maybe it's close.
Yeah.
I do think it's really close. Ben, 3rd pick.
Giants.
Uh-oh. The Giants, I have them taking Abdul Carter, edge rusher, Penn State. 6'3", 252 pounds, 21 years old. He had 13 sacks and 43 hurries in 16 games this past season, which was his junior year. He's amazing off the snap, is the first player to touch an offensive lineman. He always knows where to attack them and doesn't have any wasted steps, has amazing pursuit and hawks down ball carriers. He is the best edge rusher far and wide, and he is going to wreak havoc in the NFL. Micah is not in this draft.
I know, but
He's talking about this draft. He's not talking all the time.
Better than Micah in this
No.
draft? Like in.
Well, Micah went 10th overall, and Abdul's definitely going to go top 5. So I guess Abdul would be better.
Better than Nick
Yeah,
Bosa?
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, I have the Giants taking Abdul Carter at number 3.
I feel like that's an easy 1, 2, 3.
I do too. Let's jump into the. Do you want to say anything else about Abdul? Or does anybody else want to say anything?
Nope.
He's really
Let's
good.
jump into the 4th pick. A lot of talks have been this pick traded down, but we're not doing trades, so I'm just going to pick straight up. Yep. I feel like most people have Will Campbell going here, correct? Do you guys see that? For the Pats?
Yeah, I'm seeing it on CBS Sports right now.
I have them also picking an offensive lineman.
But it's not Will
Campbell. But not Will Campbell.
Is it Kelvin Banks?
No.
Armand Membo?
Ben, do you know?
Membo?
No.
Oh.
Is it Kelvin Banks?
No. Let's go. It is Josh Simmons, the best offensive lineman in this draft.
Wow.
Let's go through it. Josh Simmons. People need context on him and know why he's not going this high. He kind of came out of nowhere last year and exploded on the scene. In 300 snaps for Ohio State, he only gave up one pressure. Once he got hurt, OSU imploded. They fell apart and lost. They lost that Oregon game, and they only lost one guy. They were dominating, and then he gets hurt, and then everything falls apart. If he didn't get injured last year, I think he'd be in number one conversations. I'm not even joking. He was the best player on Ohio State last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It took them the entire rest of the year after he got hurt to figure out how to fill losing him. That's why they lost the Michigan game. They literally, their identity was lost after losing this one guy. He had massive impact as a tackle. He's one of the best athletes in the draft. He's so fluid. It's easy for him to get out and just move so quickly. He has a great anchor as well. One of the things that moved him down, obviously, is the injury, and that is the one concern. Is he going to come back after this? Is he going to come back as the same level prospect after the injury? And I know that's a risk I'm willing to take. I think he's that good.
Yep.
He's bigger than all the other tackles in this class and just as fast as any of them. Another positive for him just as a player is the fact that last year he exploded on the scene after I'm sorry that I should explain this better. Another positive for him as a player is that he improved from the year before exploding on the scene last year. That's what I was trying to say. He improved as a player and showed growth.
Uh-huh.
He is great. He also, again, and if you have any other questions, he had amazing production. I gave you one stat where out of 300 snaps, he gave up one pressure. That's it, one pressure. It's such good production, and I think production is the most important stat for an offensive lineman in another position. He's a monster, and if he comes back healthy, I do think he's going to be the best offensive lineman in this class.
His
He
pro
also doesn't have
comparison
tiny
is
arm.
Darisaw.
Sorry?
His pro comparison's Christian Darisaw is what I'm looking at.
I don't know who that is.
I do.
Okay.
He's on the Vikings.
Yep.
Heard.
Yeah, I had him in my one mock draft going to the Cowboys at 12.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, my write-up was basically what you said. Josh Simmons would go much higher in this mock draft if he wasn't rehabbing from major knee surgery, but according to him, rehab is great. So great that he might even have a personal pro day before the draft. That is huge news, as he looked like one of the top players in this draft before getting hurt.
Paul Reed just had a clutch block
Right.
and a clutch layup. I'm so sorry. He's playing so good. I'm so sorry. He's my favorite player. I can't. I'm sorry. I have to mention him. But yeah, I mean that. Do you have any? So you had him going 12, Ben?
Yeah.
Did you have two offensive linemen go above him or just Will Campbell?
Well, I had Will Campbell and Armand Membu.
Armand Membu. I have Membu in my fifth best offensive lineman, but I think we'll be able to talk
And I
about him
had
later.
Tyler Booker going ahead of him as well, but he's a guard.
Yeah, I have Josh Connerly above Booker. I think we'll talk about it. It's fine.
Some more about Josh Simmons per the CBS Sports is he was in 2024 he was a third team All Big Ten despite playing just 6 games before the season-ending injury, and he also allowed 0 pressures or sacks in 2024.
He had one pressure.
In
Again, it
2024,
depends.
it said he had no pressures or sacks.
It's always different on where we get stats because different people write down different stuff. But yeah, I had out of the 300 snaps, he only had one pressure. But yeah, this guy is unbelievable.
Yeah,
he's an absolute beast, and if he comes back the same healthy, I think he would have been in like the argument of like Carter, Travis, or like Abdul. Sorry, I just said it right. He would be in that conversation of going 2-3 after Cam.
Yeah, I see him going 3 or 4.
Offensive rebound, reverse layup. He's on fire. This is the best Paul Reed game I've genuinely ever seen, and I'm not even glazing. He's never played this good. He's had a block. I mean, my goodness, Paul Reed. Oh my God, Paul Reed. He's getting high fives from everybody. I'm so sorry. I love this guy so much. Oh my gosh. No, sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you guys keep going.
All right.
I'm literally hard.
It is the number 5 pick for me. I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've seen in some mock drafts them picking Genti. I like that option, but for me, it's about choosing the right option here, and it's about choosing Mason Graham and this position. And
Heard.
he's one of the best D linemen on the board. Some more about him on CBS Sports. Um, he's a two-time All-American, unanimous in 2024. He was second team in 2023. In 2024, he was a finalist for the Bronco Nagurski Trophy, which is the nation's best defensive player, and Outland Trophy, which is nation's best interior lineman. His weaknesses: he's a below average length for what one would expect from a top 10 overall interior defender. Needs to develop more of a pass rush plan, and his motor can be used against him as running backs cut off the backside working downhill. Obviously, I only went over the weaknesses in this because strengths are strengths, but it's all about the weaknesses for me. If I'm a scout, I would look at the weaknesses so I can know what I can work on, because obviously his strengths are going to show on tape, but his weaknesses are also going to show more than the strengths, because if he's doing something right, he's doing it right. Weaknesses, obviously, blah blah blah. And I feel like it says he's a high motor player who does a good job beating linemen to a spot in the run game, and he is a good job setting up pass rush moves and has the quickness to shoot gaps and get on the hips of blockers. I think.
Yeah, I really like Mason Graham. He's my best interior D lineman.
Yep.
He's like a real life Wolverine. He gets so low to the ground and he's so strong. He's 320, 6'3". He doesn't have the greatest arm length, but he makes up for it where he's so quick to power and so strong. My favorite thing about him is even though he's 6'3", 320, he has a low pad level, which is it's so weird because he's such a giant guy. And that's really where he can just get so much leverage. His grip strength is mind-boggling. Once he gets you and locks you on, he won't let go, and he can just push you back and drive you. He's such a beast, and yeah, I have him my best interior D lineman. But yeah, I
Yeah.
like that pick.
Ben, you've
Okay.
got the Raiders.
Yep. In my original 1.0 mock draft, I had the Raiders taking Mason Graham.
Oh,
So,
Well,
this is
yeah.
what your feet, man. Quick on your feet. The guy left. What are you doing now?
I know. You know what? I think the Raiders are going to take. Ooh. I don't know.
is he gonna do it?
I'm in between two guys.
I feel like I know the one guy.
I don't
Lock
know.
in.
I'm going to go Armand Membu.
Ooh.
Oh my God, your favorite
Tackle.
guy ever.
Yep. He's only 6'4", but is athletic to make up for it and has great balance and keeps rushers locked in. He has an issue as a pull blocker or drive blocker. But besides that, I think he is the perfect prospect at tackle, and he's my number one O lineman. And I was in between him and Tetero McMillan, but I don't know exactly how far Tetero is going to fall, because he could go
Yeah,
top 10, he could go
it's
late
really
first.
interesting. His the love for Ted has kind of been falling a little more as the
Yeah.
draft process has been going on. Do you have anything else on Membu? I need to give my Membu take.
No, you can give your Membu take.
I don't understand how Membu jumped to 1. He jumped up in the draft board after he quote unquote won the combine. That's when he jumped to like number 1 above Will Campbell. Will also had a great combine, and again, he ran a great time. He had a great vertical, broad, 19-yard split. It was all good. And he's bigger than Membu. The play strength and grip strength are just different. He's still good, but not number 1 offensive line. His power doesn't match what he weighs in. And if you're comparing like his strength to everybody else, it's pretty close. I do think that with him, unlike other people, he has the ability to get stronger, which can give him a higher ceiling than everybody else.
Yeah.
He does have a problem with stacking up at the point of attack. You can see it against Jamar Stewart matchup and Boston College, where at the point of attack, he just kind of got stacked up and he had problems there. I think the move would be to move him to guard. He'll add strength, and I just don't have him as number one. I have him as my offensive lineman number 4. Yeah.
Or
Yep. That's my Membu take. Membu. I don't know.
Some of
Whatever it
Membu's weaknesses, he's I don't know why this is up here, but good, not tremendous athlete. If he does not make first contact, he can look out of sorts and could stand to add more weight / power to his game, which is kind of what he said up there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can get stronger for sure. And he's just got to be able to fix that, holding, him being able to not look out of sorts after not making first contact, like standing his ground, which will probably come with power.
He's okay.
Yeah.
He's pretty technical.
Yep.
You got it. Okay.
Jets.
It's me, right?
Jets on the board.
This is the hardest pick for me. Who do I want going to the Jets?
should we get Jay on the pod?
I wish. Last time I had the Jets taking a corner, just to really round out that what they their deep their defensive back room. Is that the right word to say that? Their cornerback room.
Yeah.
DBs, yep.
I'm just gonna go with that. I'm asking for help here. Would you guys take another position group, or do you think cornerback is the way to go?
I think goal line for them.
Yeah, same.
You think also offensive line? Because I'm in between. Because I don't love the cornerback group, and you know you're right. I'm happy. Guys, I wasn't super locked in to the Jets picks. I forgot. I actually thought about all my other picks, but yeah, Will Howard is still on the board, right?
That's a quarterback.
Yes, he is.
Will Campbell is right.
Will Campbell
Yes.
will be, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, Will Campbell. I forgot he was still on the board. Yeah, Will Campbell. I'm not even gonna. Actually, I'll quickly go over what I have written on him. Will Campbell here would be fucking insane.
Oh yeah, going past
Will
the
Campbell.
Raiders.
His arms are short. That's his negative. But the positives is his island ball rate is insane. He's a top-notch tackle, and though he can't be moved to guard, again, he literally played on an island almost like he was playing on an island like Lane Johnson does. Like where they just leave him and they're like, you're just going to have to win this matchup yourself. And he did a lot. If he had like long arms, he would be argued to be like, again, in that same breath of Carter and Travis. I think he'd be like arguably like a top 3 pick if he had long arms, but he doesn't. And it's that big of a deal. Sam Mosen actually tweeted out that he hasn't seen a top tackle like him get beat like he does. He doesn't get beat a lot, but it does happen. So I have him as my second offensive lineman, but this would still be great for the Jets to get him here. I'll be more locked in the future. I was gonna pick a cornerback just because that's who I picked last time, but I forgot Campbell was here. I got to think about the draft that we are doing currently.
Yeah.
Will Campbell.
Well, this one's going to be quick for me because he hasn't been picked yet. The Panthers obviously is my pick. I'm going to go with the guy that they have in the mock draft for him, and it's going to be Jalen Walker, one of the top linebackers in this class. He's position ranked number 2 out of all linebackers, but I feel like he's from Georgia, so he knows how to play ball.
You said who'd you pick? I'm sorry.
Jalen Walker.
Out of Georgia.
The University of Georgia.
Okay.
A little bit about him. He is the 2024 Butt Kiss Award, which is the nation's best linebacker. Third Georgia player in past 8 years to take home honor, which is Nakobe Dean in 2021 and Roquan Smith in 2017. Those are really notable names. 2024 first team All SEC, which is a really, really tough conference, especially in college football. And that's really good for, a good award to have. His weaknesses, obviously, I don't really go over the strengths. He's a reasonable athlete, but does not fly to the football on outside runs. That isn't really necessarily like massive, not really big. Maybe a tick too small to routinely win against large NFL's offensive tackles as rusher. I don't know. Who knows? Minimal ball skills plus average in coverage. I don't know. He's a linebacker edge hybrid with good closing speed and the ability to function as a quarterback spy. So if you need a quarterback spy, his pro comparison is Kyle Van Noy. Kyle Van Noy is really pretty good, and his rating is an all-pro potential. Boom. Next one.
Heard. Saints. Number 9.
Probably the toughest pick after top 3 or after Travis.
I think it's easy. He could pick anybody here. They need everybody.
Yeah,
He really can't buck up here.
That's true.
He can just pick. He can just pick whoever he wants to. That's at least how I see it.
I agree
Mm-hmm.
a little bit
I don't know.
because he could pick wrong.
Thank you.
I guess. They need everybody. They need everybody.
It's tough because Derek Carr is probably going to miss the first half of the season.
He is.
And if you draft a rookie, like if you draft Shador, you would want him to sit and then play instead of play the first half and then either bench him or just let Derek Carr rot on your bench once he's healthy.
I think if they draft a first-round quarterback, they're going to have him play all year. Unless he's, like, atrocious.
And then they're just eating Derek Carr for this year.
Yeah, they're about to be like one of the most expensive teams in the league. I don't. They're just fucked.
And my first mock, I had them taking Will Johnson.
Heard.
And you know what? Shador Sanders, number 9.
Interesting.
Saints.
Wow.
I mean, there's been some stuff going around about watch out for that number 9 pick, and then Deion Sanders retweeted it with the eyes emoji, hinting that Shador is going to go 9. Or Shiloh, who knows? But no. I think Derek Carr going out with his injury probably tells them what they need to do, which is go ahead and draft a quarterback, get Shador, especially if he falls right into your lap and you don't need to trade up, and then just ride with him. And that's my analysis.
Great. You want to say anything else about Shador, Kenneth, or do you want to keep rolling?
Not really.
Cool. I'm ready to keep going. This is the easiest pick of my life.
Is it though?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't make sense for me to pick him in any other spot, but yeah, I'm picking the second best player in the draft. That fell to 10.
Yeah.
I'm picking Ashton Genty.
I respect it.
Second best player? Who's first?
Travis.
Trav. Woo!
I think Abdul's better.
No.
Maybe. We'll see. I think, but you can't have a better prospect than this guy. It's Abdul. I mean, and also if you look back to his previous years, like if you have any concern, it's his receiving. He had like a 600-yard receiving season, like I think it's a year or two ago. So even then, he's not even a bad receiving back. He's good at everything. I mean, Ben read off his little like monologue announcement thing. that just fires me up. He's going to be so good. And the fact that he dropped all the way to 10, and if he gets to oh my gosh, there's a possibility that this actually plays out and he does drop this far. If the Bears get him, oh my gosh, that'd be so fun. Off of this revamped offensive line too. Oh, the Bears could be so fun this year.
All right. San Fran.
All right.
San
Fran.
Fran. I am going to go with Walter Nolan, defensive lineman from Ole Miss.
Is this like okay? Keep going.
He is ranked number 2 in this position. On this mock I'm looking at, or in per CBS Sports. About him, 2024, he's the 14th consensus All-American in Ole Miss history, first since Elijah Moore in 2020. In 2024, he also ranked as the number 1 run stopper in the FBS with a grade of 91.7. Per Pro Football Focus, also had a 12.3% run stop rate, which ranked second in the nation. Obviously, you know that the 49ers lost pretty much everybody on their defense. They still have Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, blah, blah, blah. But I think one of their biggest losses was their D-line. Or they just need to revamp that D-line a little bit. I feel like their secondary is still good to get pass it to stop passing, but they need to focus on defense in this draft. They did lose Debo, but that wasn't really that big of a deal. Brandon, whatever, what's his name? Brandon Ayuk will be back.
Oh, okay.
Christian McCaffrey should be healthy this year. Maybe he'll
Ricky
come back.
Pearsall.
Yep, Ricky Pearsall will make an impact. Who else do they have? That other dude.
Jawan Jennings. He's really good.
Will do really good. Brock Purdy will do great. George Kittle will do great. They don't really need offense. Defense is what they need. I feel like they will focus on defense in this draft. And obviously, if some wide receiver falls to them, who knows?
Any wide receiver is falling right now. There's been no wide receivers taken.
I know, but I feel like I need, as a 49er GM right now, we need defense. Defense first, and then wide receiver second.
I kind of like Walter Nolan. I feel like after Mason Graham, it's kind of an argument between him and TJ Sanders, who the second best D tackle is. But I do have Walter Nolan. Excuse me. You pick him here because of the tools.
Yep.
He doesn't really go into his pass rush with a plan, and he really relied on his athleticism throughout his college tenure to win. He almost plays with no technique. All that being said, he's young, he's moldable, and could be a beast. So,
yeah.
And I think if there's anybody that could mold him, I think San Fran is a great place to do that with Shanahan and Saleh.
To go over his weaknesses per CBS Sports, his average first step quickness, would like to see him play with more urgency at times, counter moves and bursts off of contact, and plays high at times. That's football talk for you. That's about it. He has the size of athleticism to play multiple positions along the defensive line. He shows good flexibility to bend, dip, and get under blockers, but also plays high at times with upper body strength. Nolan is able to hold gaps and show pass rush moves to get into gaps. Boom. And he just needs to show more urgency, but he was playing on Ole Miss, so give him a break.
Great.
Yep.
Ben?
All right. Number 13, the Miami Dolphins.
Number 12, Cowboys.
Oh.
Cowboys.
Oh.
I live in Miami.
Oh. Oopsies.
My boy.
Well, good thing I'm working on my 2.0 mock draft, and I just did the Cowboys. So, little spoiler alert, I have them taking Tyler Booker, guard. Zach Martin retired this offseason,
Yeah.
which basically was a nail in the coffin for them taking a O lineman this draft.
Yep.
Tyler Bookie, he's my number one guard. I know, Andrew, we said earlier he's your number two, but he's a pure guard prospect. Tyler Booker is the very definition of a tone setter. He said, quote, I love football because the brand of football that I play. I make guys not love football anymore, he said
He's
to a
awesome.
scouting person. And an analysis guy said Booker is the class's top true guard prospect with his size, strength, and demeanor to transform an entire unit's identity because of his ability to anchor, finish, and deliver body blows. And the Cowboys are in desperate need of O lineman, like I said earlier. And they signed Javonte Williams, so it seems like that's going to be their running back, at least. They'll probably get some guy in the draft, maybe Cam Scattaboo, who Kenneth told me on the phone is going to be the steal of the draft.
He's
Yep.
going to be in the second or third round guy.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Still
And
pretty steal-ish to me.
Yep.
Kinda
Yeah, how y'all feel about that?
I mean, I
don't hate
respect it.
I think it lines up exactly with what they need, and
Yep.
I love that guy's mentality. So I'm okay with that, 100%.
Miami
good pick.
Dolphins.
Miami. What a weird team. Is
Can I
Tyreek
say
Hill going to
who-
be on there? Is Jalen
Can I say
Ramsey
who
still
I
going
was
to be
going
there?
to
Oh,
have them draft?
sure, you can go.
Jahad Campbell.
Linebacker.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot to do my analysis on linebackers. See? And I didn't even touch safeties because I don't think they're good enough to go. So I'm in between a wide receiver because is Tyreek Hill staying there?
Who knows?
Who knows?
He always does this
And-
thing in the off season.
Have you heard all the Jalen Ramsey talk of trading him too?
Yeah.
The Falcons.
Yeah, fuck it. Because they're gonna trade Jalen Ramsey, I'm picking at cornerback.
Will Johnson.
Azirie Thomas,
What?
Who?
the best cornerback in the draft.
Psych?
No, I'm not kidding.
Who?
Have you not heard of this guy?
No.
Azirie Thomas? Out of Florida State?
Yes. Let me look.
Let's break him down. He plays outside corner. He's a really loose, fluid athlete. And one of the biggest upsides with him is he is one of the youngest players in the draft. He's got the size, the speed, the technique, the numbers. He needs to be a little more consistent and composed. But he literally isn't. He's 20 years old, and he's a senior. He's a senior, guys. He played in the Senior Bowl. He's a 20-year-old senior. How is that possible? It's insane. He's a 20-year-old senior. He has so much room to grow, and he has the skills. He has so much skill. And I see the sky the limit for this guy. I think he could be the best cornerback in this draft. And he already has the numbers, the technique,
Hunter?
the speed. Yeah. No, so actually for cornerback and wide receiver, I usually go 1, 2, 3. For those two, I went 2, 3, 4 because Travis Hunter is the best for both. Yeah, just already.
Hurt.
If you guys are watching this Detroit-New York game, my goal was to finish this pod as that was ending. It's a 2-point game with a minute 44. Detroit's up by 2. What an insane game! They took Paul Reed off the floor, and look what happens. The lead starts to dwindle. Sorry, and I'm not even joking though. He actually was. I mean, you're not going to see the Paul Reed. Oh my gosh, another drop by Jalen Duren, Paul Reed's stupid starter. But it's fine. Let's keep going. I do have Will Johnson in my second cornerback though. I'm not that crazy. I just really like this guy.
I respect it.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get back to this. So I think this is really easy at 14 for Indianapolis.
Yep.
It's Tyler Warren.
Yes,
I'm
it
okay
is.
with it.
The best tight end in the entire draft. You
Yep.
could argue Colston Loveland, but you're not going to be able to get him to play wide receiver, running back, quarterback, tight end, offensive line. You can't get Colston Loveland out of that out of that. Tyler Warren, let's go over him as my computer loads slow. About him, 2024 John Mackey Award winner, the nation's best tight end. 2024 set Big Ten single season records for tight end with 88 receptions for 1,062 yards. Set Penn State record for career receiving touchdowns by a tight end with 17. His weaknesses is block retention, engaging as a puller across the formation, releases off the line of scrimmage when lining up in space. I'm gonna go over his strengths because I feel like this is one of my favorite prospects that I'm going over because he plays so many positions, or he's able to, and he's so versatile. He has soft, strong hands and a good hand-eye coordination, as evidenced by his 1.8% drop rate during the 2024 regular season per True Media. Good balance and strength makes him difficult to bring down after the catch, aligning at quarterback, tight end, receiver spots, and more it illustrates his versatility on offense, which is what I just said about him being able to play receiver, tight end, quarterback, you name it, he could probably play it. He's tall, well-built tight end who has shown his versatility, blah, 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 and whatnot. And, yep, he's really good. My favorite tight end in this entire draft. He's definitely going to be
Ben, what do you think about him?
He's definitely going to be a fantasy pick for me.
Yeah, he's my number one tight end. I also have the Colts taking Tyler Warren. I think the Colts offense needs a spark. The Colts in general are just so bleh. And
Yeah.
I think if they can get an offensive weapon like Tyler Warren to block, to catch, to be, I don't know, trick play, running back, wide receiver, whatever. He's kind of like Kyle Pitts, but hopefully he's better and he can actually block.
He's not like Kyle. I don't think
You can play Kyle Pitts at.
I don't think Kyle Pitts played quarterback, running back, or wide receiver for the.
Played wide
Tyler
receiver.
Warren's fine. A lot of people compare him to a better Taysom Hill, and that makes me like him so much less.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill's not good.
No.
I think it'd be interesting if you gave him to like a Ben Johnson, someone like that, so where they really could use him, and whenever they could. But as a straight tight end, I think he's okay. I don't know. I don't really love him. I think he will be the best tight end in the draft. And if a team is able to use him to the fullest of his ability, then again he could be a fantasy beast, like Kenneth said. I was thinking about maybe stacking wide receiver here for Indy to really get crazy, because again, Tet hasn't gone off the board. I don't even know. They would have the best. Would they have the best wide receiver room in the league?
No. With Tet, no.
Tet, Pittman, Downs, not Alec Burks. What's the white guy's name?
Alec Pierce and Adonai Mitchell.
Adonai Mitchell, yeah. That's I don't know. You're saying for a spark. I don't know if Warren sparks it, the offense, rather than it steadies it more with a better position. I don't like spending a tight end spot on a one that I don't think is generational this high in a top 14 pick, when I could take a generational wide receiver, like a giant guy net like Tet. But I do understand the pick. A lot of people, again, both of you had him going here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get my 2 cents in. Yep. Kristen's just won.
Well, Falcons.
Uh-oh.
Round us out, Ben.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Alrighty.
Come on, man.
Be quick.
You know who to
What?
pick here.
Be quick.
You know who to pick here.
Well, if you watch my video, you'd know my rankings of who I want.
It better not be a safety.
I have Malachi. No, I'm just kidding.
It's so clear that it's Mike Green.
It's Mykel Williams.
Yeah, it's Mykel Williams.
He was an All-American freshman. Second year was all SEC second team. Third year, he was all SEC second team again, leading Georgia in forced fumbles while playing through an ankle injury suffered in the season opener. Gregory Rousseau is his player comp. He's an upside prospect with loads of traits. Michael Williams simply needs more snaps and more time to fill out his frame. He's an explosive athlete who uses his exceptional length to keep tackles and tight ends at the end of his punch. He explodes out of stance and into blocks with force. Some weaknesses is he needs to improve his base strength and upper body power and can be stalled by strong hands that clinch him up. And he's a Georgia guy. His hometown is Columbus, Georgia. He's a junior. He's 6'5", 260, and he is somewhat of a developmental player, which I don't love for the Falcons because we're competing and we need edge help very badly. But I think
You're
just
competing.
he's kind of like we are. He's kind of like Shamar Stewart, but more production and a little less freak athlete, which I think it's in between pro ready, low upside, and boomer bust has done nothing so far. And he's right in that sweet spot, and that's why I want the Falcons to pick here.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Michael. Draft Twitter doesn't have him as high as I think they should. The role he plays in Georgia's defense, they run a very constantly rotating defense where sometimes they'll send him just to open a gap up instead of really actually just using his full skills to get after the quarterback. But I do think he's really good. He's so strong. He's so hard to move. He led Georgia in sacks as a freshman. In the SEC championship game, he had 2 pressures on Ewers, which both led to picks. In a game earlier that year against them, he had a strip sack on Ewers, and he did it on Bank. He's a glass eater against the run, and yeah, I think Mike Hill is the clear number 2, at least for me. I like him a lot.
Pistons
Ben,
won.
are the Falcons contenders
Yes.
for what? The playoffs?
Yes.
Okay, I'd agree with that.
I mean, I think we're the favorite to win our division. Sportsbooks don't think so.
Don't you think that every year?
I thought last year it came down to week 18, and
Yeah,
that's
but
with
did you think
Kirk
it 2 years
Cousins.
ago as well?
We had Desmond Shitter as our quarterback, so I don't think so.
Okay. I'm not trying to bring the energy down. But you're saying you don't want to maybe a little bit of a project. I'm pretty sure you're okay with it, at least in my eyes. And I don't think he's a huge project. Yeah.
Well,
that's our draft, folks. Let's run. Actually, we didn't pick one wide receiver.
Yeah,
That's insane. I'll go over my wide receiver rankings quickly just because I want to. I got Luther Burden after Travis. So Travis, Luther Burden, Tet, and Golden. I like Luther Burden. He has phenomenal hands. He's the second best on catch target percentage after Travis. He has a great start stop ability, and the combo of his hands and yak ability gives him such a high floor. From when he catches the ball, he turns into a runner so fast. It's awesome. Tet's my 3. He's huge. He's 6'6". His concentration on catching is sometimes a problem, but it's not actually his skill that makes him drop some balls.
He's
I think he's fine with that. Is he not 6'6"?
No, he's 6'4".
You sure? I've read somewhere he's 6'6".
He on CBS says 6'6" or 6'4", 6'4".
Okay. He's capable of making any catch. He makes all type of contested catches. He's still fast enough to get vertical, and he has good acceleration. He's a walking mismatch to any quarter. Finally, Golden. Let's start off with he has the star name. Golden is so fire. His tape is littered with great catches, and is the best deep ball route runner in the draft. Such a good release, light on his feet with great route running. He's also a great yak guy. He's not the same level as Burden, but he's still good. He's all around good. I have him there. I just wanted to give my wide receiver rankings because I was really, really mulling over who I would want to, whether it was Burden or Tet, and I just wanted to give you guys that. Other than that, let's run through our 1 through 5. We have Titans picking Ward, Browns picking Travis, Giants picking Abdul, Pats picking Josh Simmons, Jags picking Mason Graham, Raiders Membao, Jets are taking Will Campbell, Panthers are taking Jelon Walker, Saints. Who the fuck is secure?
Shador.
Oh, that's my bad, probably. Bears are taking Genti. San Fran's taking Walter Nolan. Cowboys are taking Tyler Booker. Miami's taking Azaria Thomas. Indy's taking Tyler Warren. And the Falcons are taking Michael Williams. Do you guys want to say anything else before we get out of here?
We have MLB stuff.
Run through it fast.
Wait, I do have something to say about the draft.
Okay.
Where do y'all think Tet's going?
Whoever needs a wide receiver first, they'll take him.
Yeah, I'll go to the next picks. Cardinals, pick 16.
And
No.
CBS has a mock trade with Seattle and Arizona, but there's no point.
Bengals, no.
Seattle, yes.
Seahawks, I was thinking about, but they have Cup and JSN. I think they need O-line help more. Buccaneers, no. The Broncos.
Broncos might need one.
The Broncos do need him because
I think
Sutton's
they
good,
would.
but yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
But they could also draft a Marion or Scatterbo, and would.
I do have them taking Colston Loveland.
Not that good, Kenneth.
I know. Amarion.
I have the Broncos taking Colston Loveland because Sean Payton talked about Colston Loveland very highly, and he said he wants to get a tight end.
I would.
Steelers, no.
No.
Chargers, no.
Yeah. They only have what's
They have
his name?
Ladd and
Ladd.
whatever his face, Quentin Johnston.
They have
Yeah,
Ladd.
they might.
They have Ladd.
They could take. They have just Ladd. Let's be real. They could definitely take a wide receiver because I think
they need a second wide receiver.
If he doesn't go there, he's definitely going the next pick.
I really like Golden going there. I really like Golden going there, replacing Quinn Johnson as a deep threat. Because and Quinn Johnson's not a good deep threat.
Anyway, yeah, if the Chargers, if he doesn't go to the Chargers at 22, he's definitely going to the Packers at 23.
What do you mean? They don't draft a wide receiver in the first round. They don't.
Yeah, I don't even know I don't know what the Packers are gonna do. They're so interesting.
They don't have. They never draft a first round wide receiver.
Run through MLB quickly.
All right, my weekly MLB The Show grind. Haven't touched it. I did do a rebuild with the Braves. I need to edit that. If I edit that,
Great.
And yeah, quick little MLB standings. I'm just gonna go over the top dogs. Yeah, the Dodgers, Padres, and the Mets all tied at number 1. All with a 16-7 record. Giants are 4th with 14-8. You have Yankees, Detroit at tied for 5th at 14-9. 14-10 are the Cubs. 13-10, or I meant 13-9 are the Guardians. So are the Rangers, and blah blah blah. And that's about it for that. And then I texted Ben a few days, like 2 days ago, about chalk and whatnot, about betting on chalk. It should have hit. Max Fried almost threw no hitter yesterday. It would have been really cool if he had 7 strikeouts, and if the Cubs won. Yesterday, the Reds beat Baltimore 24-2. Which any thoughts on that?
Shout out Reds. Aren't they isn't their run differential crazy?
I think so. I can quickly
I
check.
saw that. I know some Reds fan. You don't have to check. It's just I don't know. They're just kind of still mid though.
Their run differential is 29. Plus 29.
For this game?
No, for the total season so far.
That's good, right?
That's pretty good. Cubs have 41. Padres are 33. Tigers, Yankees 28-26. 29 are the Reds. Mets are 31. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah.
I heard.
Rockies are negative 51. White Sox are surprising me this year. I ranked all the MLB teams so far. I'm gonna just go over the top 10, and then obviously the worst, the shitters, bottom 5, the top 10. That's all I'm going over. So for number 1, as you all know, last episode I said this is going to be a tough one between the Dodgers and Padres. And then sneakily, the Mets are surprisingly really good. I didn't really see them. They were under the radar for me. But I have the Dodgers at number one because we're such a dominant team. And I don't think we'll leave number one unless we just lose 50 games in a row. You know, it's kind of like with the Braves. Like, they started off 0-8, but, like, you know, they're the Braves. They're going to win games. They're going to make the playoffs at some point this year. They're finding their bats. Good on the Braves. And yeah, the Padres are number two for me. They are the most hitting. They are the best hitting team in this entire league so far. Fernando Tatis is phenomenal this year. I know I hate Tatis, but I've come around to respect him as a player. I will respect him because he's batting like 400 almost, which is actually the insane part. And that's, yep. The New York Mets are number three for me. Obviously, they're higher than the Yankees because record-wise, and Juan Soto's heating up, Lindor's heating up. I like that. Their pitching staff is really good. And yeah, that's the only thing that is doing it. That's pushing the Mets over the Yankees right now for me. And the Yankees are number four for me because of the pitching staff. It's crazy similar how the Mets and Yankees are. They have a really good, like, hitting team. It's just their pitching. And the Mets are kind of like the opposite in a way. You know, like right now, the Mets absolutely destroyed the Phillies today. Oh no, it was 5-4. But Aaron Nola, Andrew, what's going on with Aaron Nola?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Has he been bad?
He's 0-5 in his last 5 starts, obviously, and he has a 6.43 ERA.
So he's been bad.
He's
I
been
don't know.
he's
He-
been
he-
awful. He's been awful.
Did he used to be good?
He was really good.
What are you gonna do?
Exactly. He's kind of unkish, but I mean, going from a 14-8 season to a 0-5 start is kind of wild. But you know, it is what it is. He is 31. It's okay. Next, Phillies are my 5 seed. Or are my 5 team. Boom, boom. Rangers, number 6. They're a team where I just had to throw them in there because they're leading their division. I easily could have thrown, like, if I was going off of record wise, I would go like Giants, Cubs, and whatnot. But the Rangers are a well-rounded team, pitching wise and offensive wise. I think they deserve the 6th spot for me. And because I don't want the NL West to be in the top 6 3 times. But next is the Giants. NL West, NL West, NL West. Absolute bloodbath this year. The Giants are 14-8 right now. They're the 4th best team record-wise. They are they're putting pitching on their back. They're putting offense is very sleepish. People are sleeping on the Giants. That's it. The Cubs are my 8 because you need to have every division in your top 10. I feel like if you're ranking MLB, unless you're the AL Central, that's it. That's all. D-backs are my number 9. Now you might be asking me, wow, 4 NL West teams in your top 10. Yeah, that's how good the NL West is. Any thoughts on that?
I don't know. I don't watch baseball. I don't know.
Really good division.
It's the greatest division, and then you have the Rockies. And the number 10 team. This was kind of hard for me to move down the Tigers from 10, and they're number 11 for me. I've got the Mariners at 10 because I started off the year really high on the Mariners. I have them winning the division, I believe. I got to go back to the document on that. But I have the Mariners. They're a good team. They're one game back from first place right now in their division. And that's it. That's my top 10. Time for the last 5. And the 5th team to make the cut on the shitty 5 is the Tampa Bay Rays. They're my 26th team. Yeah, they're currently 9-13, but I don't see them being better than the Braves. I don't see them being better than the Pirates. I don't see them being better than the Cards, the Athletics, the Twins. It's just the AL East is so weird that they're just not going to make the playoffs because like they might sneak in, but they're not going to touch the playoffs at all. My 27th ranked team is the Washington Nationals. That one's probably the easiest. I don't even need to explain that. The Marlins are my 28th ranked team. As of today, I honestly might move them up to the mid-20s. I'm going to early 20s probably. I'm going to move them up after this. I kind of wish I didn't have them so low, but it's just like the other teams I just don't see them above other teams right now. I need to see more games. I know they're currently 10-12 and they're third in the NL East, but they're going to be lower than the Braves right now or soon because the Braves are on their way back up. The Rockies are my 29th. That's kind of self-explanatory. And the White Sox are my worst team as of right now. Any thoughts about the worst? Y'all probably know about the worst. I feel like the Rays are the biggest surprise for me.
Nope.
Okay. Well, that'll do it for the MLB segment. Are we doing the Marvel Rivals segment real quick? Y'all have,
I don't have much to say.
It's just a best duelist, best tank, best support.
We can do that some other time when we. Mean, how long has this episode gone?
An hour 30.
Let's just wrap up because I do want to play Marvel Rivals sometime.
Yep.
Like actually play it.
Okay.
I have to take a shower. So.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Well, do you guys want to say anything else before we get out of here?
We take showers.
No.
No. Shout out Paul Reed. Shout out the Pistons. I don't have anything else. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the TasteBuds podcast. And as always, remember to have a very tasty day.